Welcome to the JohnnyFongo Show. I am JohnnyFongo. It is April 24th. We're going to look at the weekend recap show here. We're going to go to some headlines first. All right, a few headlines to share with you. We have Subversive Acquisitions LP closes transaction with Intercure, Israel's leading fastest growing cannabis company. Indiva may be delayed in filing annual audited financial results. That comes to us at 7 p.m. yesterday, Globe Newswire. Columbia Care to report first quarter 2021 results on Monday, May 17th, 2021. It comes out at 6:30 p.m., Business Newswire. Myconic plans to purchase British Columbia Physical Therapy Clinic, launch ketamine treatments, 6:16 p.m. from our friends at Benzinga. Allied Corp confirms no material undisclosed information and comments on recent promotional activities. Comes out at 6:07 p.m. Globe Newswire. This week in cannabis, 420 Safe Banking Act, the NFL, Verano, and much more. 5 p.m. Benzinga. That's a big source right there. You can find out a lot of information if you're on there. Great source of research. Next up, Social Life Network, OTC WDLF, now accepting Bitcoin as payment from TBI licenses, TAP says. That was at 5 p.m. Globe Newswire. Why the lawsuit over Detroit residency-based cannabis licensing is one to watch. 4:21 p.m. Eastern Time, Benzinga. Sundial says it increases its commitment to Sunstream Bancorp Incorporated. 4:06 p.m. Benzinga. North Carolina lawmakers introduced bill to legalize recreational cannabis. 3:24 p.m. from Benzinga. Phyto Extractions announces proposed warrant amendment. 1:58 p.m. Access Wire. Psychedelic stocks. Mend skyrockets on the news of NASDAQ trading. 12:11 p.m. Benzinga. Denver City Council says yes to cannabis smoking clubs and marijuana delivery. 11:41 a.m. Benzinga. STEM Holdings announces closing of public unit offering. 9 a.m. Newsfile Corp. CO2 Grow Incorporated discusses global expansion of their revolutionary CO2 delivery solutions technology with Stock Day podcast. 9:01 a.m. Newsfile. Tetra Biopharma provides an update on its U.S. Reborn clinical trial. 9 a.m. Access Wire. Kronos Group to hold its 2021 first quarter earnings conference call on May 7, 2021, 9 a.m. Global Newswire. Green Hygienics Holdings announces LOI for the acquisition of Bohemian Beverage Company. 9 a.m. Globe Newswire. CBD of Denver announces successful completion of Swiss audit. 8:58 a.m. Newsfile. I Am Cannabis reports fiscal 2020 results, provides preliminary Q1 results and Q2 outlook. 8:55 a.m. Newswire, that came out. Red Light Holland and Headland West Indies lead SVG Strong, a relief effort in St. Vincent's and Grenadines with the volcano. It's an interesting story. We'll probably be coming back to that one. It's a good story. That came out at 8:48 a.m. yesterday, Newsfile. 420 Cannabis Holiday retail traffic up 10% in 2021. 8:38 a.m. PR Newswire. It's good to hear with everything with the COVID and everything been going on. Hopefully things might be getting back to normal. So, interesting story here as well. THC Therapeutics has completed the dehydrogenator consumer model design. 8:34 a.m. Eastern Time, Access Newswire. We're going to look at that a little closer as well. Emerald Health Therapeutics confirms effective listing date on Canadian Securities Exchange. 7 a.m. Verano to open its 32nd MUV Florida Medical Cannabis Dispensary in historic St. Augustine. That came out 7 a.m. yesterday from the Globe Newswire. All right, so that pretty much catches us up from Friday, and we're going to jump into a few stories here now. First up, Subversive Acquisition LP closes transaction with Intercure, Israel's leading and fastest growing cannabis company. It comes out at 4:23. 2021, 7:09 p.m. from the Dow Jones. It goes on to say, Intercure is the most well-capitalized cannabis company in Israel and is positioned to consolidate the Israeli market and further expand across Europe. Combined company led by Chairman and former Prime Minister of Israel Ehud Barak and CEO Alex Rabinovich. Intercure has doubled revenues sequentially in 4 of the last 5 quarters. Growth plans include tripling retail footprint by 2022. Common shares of Intercure now trade on the TSX under the symbol INCR.U and the TASE under the symbol INCR. Listing of Intercure shares on the NASDAQ expected in Q2 of 2021 and will trade under the symbol of INCR. Intercure filed a confidential 20-F registration statement with the SEC prior to closing. Okay, interesting. Have to keep an eye on that rascal. Looks like Intercure. It's going to be the symbol INCR on that. Next up, Indiva may be delayed in filing annual audited financial statements. 4/23/21, 7 p.m. Globe Newswire. Indiva Limited on the TSX-V. You can find them as NDVA. On the OTCQX, you can find them at NDVAF. They announced today that it may be delayed in filing its annual audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2020, and its related management discussion and analysis and Chief Executive Officer and Chief Financial Officer certifications by the prescribed filing deadline of April 30th, 2021. Okay, well, sorry to hear that, Indiva. I don't know, are there going to be fines on that? All right, next up, Myconic plans to purchase British Columbia Physical Therapy Clinic, launch ketamine treatments. Came out yesterday, 4/23/2021 at 6:16 p.m. from our friends at Benzinga. Myconic Capital Corporation on the CNSX, you can find that at MEDI, is poised to acquire a Victoria, British Columbia-based physical therapy clinic exclusively for the Canadian military, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and first responder patients. Transaction details. The Vancouver-based investment company, which previously operated as Aura Light Investments, linked a letter of intent to purchase Integrated Rehab and Performance Ltd., which operates the clinic, for $1 million. The sum will be payable in the company's common shares upon the closing of the transaction, including 5%, which would be tradable on the closing date, with the remaining 95% payable quarterly over 18 months. Under the deal, IRP will expand its British Columbia footprint and launch ketamine treatments as part of the offering. Myconic purchased Mindscape Ketamine and Infusions Therapy PLCC last month for $175,000. So what's next? As Canada continues to be the leader in alternative medicines and treatments, our goal is to aggressively pursue Section 56 exemptions for veteran patients of IRP to be able to offer the psychedelic-assisted therapy as an addition to their current treatment plans, the company's CEO Robert Meister said Friday. All right, so they've got a lot of things going on here with Myconic. Looks like the only ticker I see is on the Canadian Stock Exchange, which is MEDI. Might want to write that name down, keep an eye on them. Seems to be a lot of that psychedelic medicine going on here lately. I would like to take a moment to thank everyone for listening and shout out to our listeners all around the globe, especially those folks out in Capitol Heights, Maryland that are listening. Cincinnati, Ohio, Chicora, Pennsylvania, Leamington, Canada, Mollendal, Sweden, Walthamstow, UK, the Bronx, New York, Reston, Virginia, Crestline, California. Thank you all for listening. Havertown, Pennsylvania. Shout out to Winnipeg, Canada. Hope you enjoy the show. Next up, Social Life Network, OTCWDLF, now accepting Bitcoin as payment from TBI licenses, TAP says. Social Life Network Incorporated, OTCWDLF, announces today that it will begin accepting Bitcoin as payment from its technology business incubator, TBI licenses. Having stunned markets with its revealing bet on Bitcoin earlier this year, Tesla announced they will start accepting the largest electronic currency as payments for its electric cars. Following the lead of the companies like Square, MicroStrategy, and dozens of other high-profile publicly traded companies, Social Life Network is now going to add Bitcoin to its balance sheet. Good news. Chief Executive Officer Ken Tapp on Friday tweeted, "Our licenses can now pay us with Bitcoin. Our licensees can now pay us with Bitcoin." Social Life Network announced in January of 2019 that its licensee, HuntPost.com, was going to add cryptocurrency alongside fiat currency through its newly launched e-marketplace. The purchase of products and services through the e-marketplace for HuntPost and other Social Life Network licensees marketplace platforms is currently provided through PayPal, BitPay, and dozens of other international payment gateways. On March 30th of this year, PayPal Holdings Incorporated announced that it has started allowing U.S. consumers to use their cryptocurrency holdings to pay at millions of its online merchants globally, a move that can significantly boost the use of digital assets in everyday commerce, says Todd Markey. All right, interesting story. Great story. I am a huge Bitcoin fan, have owned it and mined it in the past. I do own that and some other currencies as well, some other cryptos. I do have an exposure to companies in that realm as far as miners and miner manufacturers. I actually own Coinbase, a little bit of Coinbase. Got some of that too. So, full disclaimer, I'm a huge Bitcoin fan. See a lot of potential with it, not just as a trade, because you can trade the ever-loving snot out of that thing, but just, I think it's cool. So, moving on. Sundial says increases commitment to Sunstream Bank Corp. Incorporated. Comes out yesterday at 4:06 p.m. from Benzinga, Calgary, Alberta. Sundial Growers Incorporated, on the NASDAQ, you can find them at SNDL, announced it has increased its commitment to Sunstream Bancorp Incorporated to $188 million from its previous announced commitment of $100 million, is a joint venture between Sundial and the SAF Group that will leverage a strategic financial and operational partnership to target the enhanced risk opportunity in the cannabis industry to provide exposure to a portfolio of attractive debt, equity, and hybrid investments. Initially, Sunstream expects to form a special opportunities fund with capital from the company and the SAF Group, in addition to commitments from third-party limited partners. Sundial expects to provide an update on third-party capital commitments within the next 60 days. Okay, that'll be something to look at. Sounds like they might be gearing up for a potential banking thing. When this banking bill goes through, they'll have some exposure to that. That could be a good thing, maybe. I don't know. Next up, North Carolina lawmakers introduce bill to legalize recreational cannabis. Thank you, North Carolina. We appreciate that. Lawmakers in North Carolina introduced a bill poised to legalize cannabis possession for adults. That comes to us at 4/23/21. 3:24 p.m. from friends at Benzinga. House Bill 617, which would regulate a recreational cannabis industry, was filed in the legislature on Tuesday. High Times writes. The measure would allow adults 21 and older to legally possess and use cannabis within the statutory possession limit, as well as set registration and license requirements and procedures for governing the operation of cannabis establishments. The legislation is poised to charge the Department of Public Safety Department with cannabis established registration, issuance, and annual renewal. In addition, the bill stipulates the creation of Office of Social Equity, which will support the communities affected by the war on drugs, allowing those who were previously disproportionately harmed by cannabis prohibition to participate in the regulated cannabis industry. That's great news. So we'll keep an eye on North Carolina and see what happens with them. Just want to take a second to say that the Johnny Fongo Show has a social media presence on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. So reach out, say hi. We'd love to hear from you. Next up, psychedelic stock MindMed skyrockets on the news of NASDAQ trading. 12:11 p.m. from Benzinga. Mind Medicine Incorporated, NEO, MMED. On the OTCQB, it's MMEDF. On the DE, it's MMQ. They confirmed Friday it will commence trading on the NASDAQ capital market under the ticker symbol MNMD on April 27th. The psychedelic medicine biotech company reported its subordinate voting shares have obtained the necessary authorization to list on NASDAQ. MindMed will continue to list on the NEO Exchange Incorporated, and its subordinate voting shares will remain listed on the OTCQB until trading on the NASDAQ begins. The listing of our stock on the NASDAQ represents a significant milestone in our growth as a publicly traded company, J.R. Rand, CEO and co-founder of MindMed, stated. We believe this listing will increase our visibility in the marketplace, improve liquidity, broaden and diversify our shareholder base, and ultimately enhance long-term shareholder value. I would like to thank our employees, management, directors, and our many collaborators for their hard work in making MindMed a member of the NASDAQ exchange, an important step that will help facilitate our mission to discover, develop, and deploy psychedelic-inspired medicines and therapies to address addiction and mental illness. All right, keep an eye on MindMed. I think I have that stalker on that ticker on a watch list there somewhere. All right, got a story here about some grow issues. Full disclosure, I'm a former grower. This is a story about CO2 Grow Incorporated. Discusses global expansion of their revolutionary CO2 delivery solutions technology with the Stock Day podcast. Comes at us at 9 a.m. News File, Phoenix, Arizona. The Stock Day podcast welcomed CO2 Grow Incorporated. On the OTCQB, you can find that at BLONF. On the TSXV, you can find that at GROW. CO2 Grow is a company whose proprietary CO2 delivery solutions, technology, is poised to revolutionize the global high-value plant greenhouse industry. CEO of the company, Aaron Archibald, joined Stock Day host Everett Jolly. Jolly began the interview by asking about the company's background. We are a precision ag tech company. We have a patent-protected CO2 systems for sealed and open-air protected growers. The benefits of our precision carbon application are profit maximization, which sometimes doubles the profits of our grower partners, so explained Archibald. Our mission is to naturally accelerate the growth of high-value plants efficiently, safely, and profitably. He continued, we are in the commercial stage of having sold 20 systems to date in both U.S. and Canada, and we have over a dozen commercial feasibilities under the way. It goes on to say the global market opportunity in front of us is enormous, and we don't have any direct competition, says Archibald. Before elaborating on the company's management team and revenue totals over the past 9 months, we have also announced numbers of sales since then. How does the technology work? Asked Jolly. It's a great idea. Let's hear. Our technology precisely delivers saturated CO2 gas by first dissolving CO2 into water, then misting it onto the plant canopy, explained Archibald, adding that the system intermittently mists only for a few minutes per day. What that does is create a microenvironment around the plant that osmotically drives saturated CO2 through the plant surface and into the plant. I'll be darned. Every grower we talk to knows that the plants need CO2 to create sugars from the additional carbon that they can absorb. And we simply are a better delivery mechanism for that. It definitely sounds that way. Jolly then asked about the company's pricing for their CO2 systems moving forward. We price systems on a per square foot basis, says Archibald. So if you have 2,000 square foot of microgrow with high-value plant, it could cost more per square foot than some of our potential customers and customers who have several million square feet of protected agriculture that we are servicing. CO2 works. I can tell you firsthand, it works. Does a great job. Next up, Red Light Holland and Headband West, Indies lead SVG Strong, a relief effort in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the volcano damage that they are experiencing right now. That's great. They're doing a lot of work helping out back there, trying to get the island back up and running. All right, we're about ready to wrap this thing up. We got a few more stories. We are in the home stretch, just a few more to go. Just want to thank everyone for listening to the weekend recap. As many of you know, this is a show about sharing my research in the cannabis sector, particularly publicly traded companies. We look at everything cannabis, THC, CBD, hemp, and everything in between. Some stories we feature will look at companies that are not publicly traded yet. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a regular guy. Big fan of the plant, big fan of investing, trading, and research. I started tracking and trading the cannabis sector back in 2002 after Colorado and Washington legalized. It was slim pickings back there. Only about 20 companies to choose from. 2014 came and Colorado had started sales and the lines were all over the news. Whatever pot stocks I had at the time, and I had quite a few different names, they just skyrocketed. So I was hooked, and I kept an eye on the news since then. And I kept trading and still do to this day. So I hope you enjoy the information I share and find it useful. Any stock or company I talk about is not a recommendation to buy it. It is more a recommendation to learn about it if it fits into your strategy. With that being said, let's get to the next story. Completed the hydrogenator consumer model design. Oh my gosh, this is a cool story. THC Therapeutics. They've got this dehydrogenator consumer model. So, from what I can glean, this looks like it's some kind of super dryer. Plus, it's all supposed to clean your bud as well. It says here, with our built-in sanitizing technology, we are able to reduce the microbial load from failing cannabis to bring the contaminants down to passing levels. This device can kill surface, all kinds of names I really shouldn't be producing because I can't, or, they're just, I can't pronounce those. Just a bunch of bad stuff, basically, it's supposed to take care of. So, the dehydrogenator. Keep that name in mind, folks. It could be something big. Keyhole Research. THC Therapeutics. Verano to open its 32nd MUV, Florida Medical Cannabis Dispensary in historic St. Augustine. Okay, that comes at us at 7 a.m. from yesterday, Globe Newswire. Verano secures the fourth largest retail footprint in Florida. Okay, Verano Holdings Corp. on the CSE. You can find them at VRNO on the OTCQX. That is VRNOF. They are a leading multi-state cannabis company. They announced today the upcoming opening of its newest MUV dispensary located at 40 South Pont Street, St. Augustine, Florida. It is scheduled to open April 24th, 2021 at 10 a.m. That's today. That's cool. Congratulations, Verano. Looks like Verano's 32nd MUV dispensary in Florida is situated in a high-profile location just south of King Street, formerly occupied by a bank. It features a useful MUV through, enabling patients to pick up pre-orders at a drive-through window. This is the fifth MUV location in Florida with the MUV through. Sounds like they've got a nice new location there. That's good to see. All right, this looks like it's going to be our last story for today. The Green Hygienics Holdings Incorporated announces LOI for the acquisition of Bohemian Beverage Company. On the OTCQB, you can find them at GRYN. They are a company focused on high-standard cultivation and processing of industrial hemp and manufacturing of pharmaceutical-grade bioactive cannabinoids. It is very excited to announce it has entered into a letter of intent to acquire Bohemian Beverages Company. Bohemian Beverage Company is a profitable, revenue-generating entity with an extraordinary brand portfolio of more than 20 unique beverage brands, including CBD-infused teas, ginger ale, beers, cider, cocktails, and more. which are directly distributed and sold to the company's own subsidiary storefront. The company was also the first brewery, cidery, distillery, and manufacturer of CBD beverages in the state of Virginia. By creating stylish, youthful, sexy branding promoted by skillful marketing through social media and successful event planning, they have sustained interaction, engagement, and participant from their target market. All right, so that sounds like a pretty good deal they're doing there. Way to go, Green Hygienics. So that wraps that up for this show. Thank you for listening. Good luck in your research and trading. I hope you enjoyed the show. I am JohnnyFongo, and you've been listening to the JohnnyFongo Show. And I want you to have a profitable day.